We've taken this time to deal with words, key scriptural words. Words can break a person in pieces. Job said to his three friends who misjudged his situation, Job 19:1 and 2, then Job answered and said, how long will you vex my soul and break me in pieces with words? Words can do a lot of damage. They can be very troubling, words. Acts 15:24, the early elders and apostles wrote to Gentile believers and said, we have heard that certain which went out from us have troubled you with words. Kind of want to project that into the society we live in. There are people who speak for God that are troubling and agitating the people with words. We know from the Word of God that the entrance of God's words give light. The words can be a means of illumination as well as trouble. The entrance of thy word gives light. And of course, not to forget that our words will be the basis whereby we're either justified or condemned. This, of course, is the word of Jesus on this. Matthew 12:37, by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. So that's the kind of verse you don't want to say, well, that doesn't mean. That means, according to the Greek even, this means, by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. So these messages are designed to help assist us to learn how to speak more fully, and this is something your whole lifetime you learn this. You want to increase your spiritual vocabulary so you know how to speak about the things of God. So our word tonight is quiet. Quiet. Another word that we'll speak about is quietness, which is the state of being quiet. It's necessary now to learn that the human spirit must be quiet. The human spirit can be like a raging storm, foaming up, irritated, agitated, like the Sea of Galilee when storms descended upon it. Well, you've experienced this, I'm sure. We want to reduce those experiences, to say the least, and learn to be quiet. Now, let's look at the meaning of this word. First of all, it has kind of a wide meaning. In the Hebrew language, as is indicated in the Old Testament scriptures, it carries the idea of being secure. That is, that there wouldn't be enemies agitating and rising up all around. Secure. Isaiah 12:18, it reminds us that God's people would be dwell in a peaceable habitation and in quiet resting places. That's an environment that is secure. Wherever there's trouble, brethren, there's danger. People really must know this, that where there's agitation, there's danger. Where there's disruption, there's danger. The very existence of trouble indicates our fallibility and our weakness, just the very presence of trouble. So quietness has to do with being secure. It also has to do with being settled or still or calm. It includes the idea of being peaceful, restful. Perhaps you've been in seasons of life where you went a long time without being at peace. Long time without being restful. And having a calmness of spirit, a settled spirit. There's certain circumstances that agitate, irritate the soul. And I tell you, it's a blessed thing to consider being quiet. And it includes the idea of being calm like a sea. No one chooses to sail on a stormy sea. That is not the preference. See, but sometimes it does become a necessity. But then, oh, how glad we are when it's quiet. The psalmist spoke of sailors that were in the storm, and when it quieted down, they were peaceful and at ease. So in thinking about being quiet, we aim to elevate the value of quietness. Quietness doesn't give you some time to get into trouble and kind of do what you want and things like this. Quietness, learn how to use that properly. And it includes the idea of being at ease. It includes being comfortable. Has that idea. And pleasant and friendly. In the New Testament, there's not as many different words in the New Covenant scriptures about being quiet. One, it has to do with appease or quell. It is a state of agitation. It calms it down. There are times, brethren, in a fellowship of believers when it's like a storm is raging, and there's irritations, and some of them are not necessarily sinful irritations. Sometimes just irritations of concern and things of this sort. Oh, the blessedness of those things being quieted, calmed down. There's the idea of refraining from labor. Quiet, when everything just kind of settles down, you're able to devote yourself fully to the things of God. And there's the idea of tranquility, the actual surrounding. There's nothing there that's agitating. Of course, you find the older you get, at least I have found, the more you covet these you covet these times when things are it's quiet. Sometimes they're matters of concern. They're legitimate matters of concern, but they sort of raise storms in the soul, irritations, agitations. If you're a parent, you went through some of these, maybe with your own children, storms. And you know what a blessed thing quietness is, that the Lord can give quietness. Where you can't do a thing about it, He can give quietness. So let's look at this word quiet. I'm going to use the word of freedom from agitation, or security and inner stability. Now here's several ways that this word is used in the Word of God. Quiet. It's a state much to be coveted. One is not making a lot of noise. There's different ways to make noise, you know. More than just shouting, agitating.